The guitarist, Matt Romaine, also known as the friendly neighborhood Lebanese Scotsman, told me that Phil once sang with a band called Finn McCool, which I was not aware of. Multiple talents, this man. He did that back in the day, and one time Phil couldn't make a gig. And they were looking for someone who was an excellent musician, because they were all excellent musicians, but someone who could help them with their, quote, tendency to get in a staring contest with the audience. So tonight we have a very special collection of musicians. The band leader, Frank Edgley, who I introduced before, actually sends his regards from Ireland, where he is currently. But Frank Edgley Jr. will be playing the fiddle, alongside Matt on guitar. Jim O'Callaghan on Irish banjo, Terence McKinney on Irish pipes, and Siobhan Donovan on Celtic harp. We would also like to know, oh, go ahead. We'd also like to note that the first three pieces will specifically celebrate McLeod. So we'll start with the Skyboat song, then Morag of Dunvegan, is that okay, good. And Susan McLeod after that. So I'm
the first tune is called Morag of Dunvegan. Morag is a woman's name, strangely enough. Don't give it to your daughters. But it means big and great, so she's a mighty woman. And I'm going to play a tune following it called Morag of Dunvegan and the Gardens of Skye. And then I'm going to play bits and pieces of Susan McLeod, which is a Strathspey. So, brace yourselves.
Is Phil here? These are good insults. Where are you? Where are you? Neither do I. Sure, let's do this one. We're going to play a little song instead. This one's a tune called Keel Row. Now, I heard the fellows play this, and I said, I know that. Being a children's entertainer, I know that tune as a tune for Aiken Drum. Turns out, Aiken Drum, the children's song about a man that wears clothes made out of food, well, this goes way back to Scotland. It was actually written for a soldier. Like most things with Scottish origins, it goes back to some Jacobite uprising, and I think this one is the Battle of Culloden. Anyway, it got changed over the years, and it's about a fella named Aiken Drum. And he wears a hat made of good cream cheese, and a coat made of fine roast beef, and breeches made of haggis bags. And but in honor of tonight's honoree, we've taken some liberties and changed the words. So it's no longer about a fellow named Aiken Drum, it's about a fellow named, how about Phil McLeod? That's your There's a part for you in here. I'll say, let's give the man a cheer, and you just like do a quick cheer, say, hey, or whoop, or hurrah, or anyhow, however you want to express your enthusiasm. Let's give the man a cheer. Cheer! Cheer! There we go. So there we are. He's a Scotsman of the Year, and his name is Phil McLeod. Let's try it. What do you think? DG? Yeah, go ahead. I'll pick it. All right. Deep bit it. Not too fast. I gotta breathe. That's good. Sorry. He's a font of creativity, activity, a font of creativity, and his name is Phil McLeod. Let's give the man a cheer, cheer. He's a Scotsman of the year, and his name is Phil McLeod. Collaborator, and his name is Phil McLeod. Let's give the man a cheer, cheer. Let's give the man a cheer. His name is Phil McLeod. Even call him a visionary. He's a bold visionary, a bold visionary, and his name is Phil McLeod. Let's give the man a cheer, cheer. Scotsman of the year, his name is Phil McLeod. He's a fine community leader, a fine community leader, and his name is Phil McLeod. Let's give the man a cheer, cheer. Scotsman of the year, and his name is Phil McLeod. Yes, there is a man in Windsor, there's a man in Windsor, and his name is Phil McLeod. Let's give the man a cheer. He's a Scotsman of the year, and his name is Phil McLeod.
helping you learn how to do 5 different Scottish country dances. So if that is of any interest to you, if you've ever wanted to learn that style of movement, feel free to move to the other side, and I'll get out of the way so you can keep enjoying the music.
It's not too far away from the wedding.
How are you? How's Trina?
She's fine. She's here, but she didn't come to now. Scottish country dancing.
Yeah, I was in Pit Lockers.
heart pieces that still exist in the Irish and Scottish tradition. It's called Mrs. Hamilton, and it's written for the Earl of Antrim, someone in the family there. But it's a lovely tune all the same. And then we'll follow it up with a jig called The Lark in the Morning. So Miss Hamilton.
and the leaves are gently falling, and the wild mountain tide falls around the blooming heather. Will you go, grassy road, and we'll all go together to the wild mountain tide around the blooming heather. Will you go, grassy the low road.
That's it.
You take the high road and I'll take the ferry road. That's only accessible to people who aren't alive anymore.
You want to take that?
And I'll be in Scotland before you. Where me and my true love were ever once again. Oh, you take the high road and I'll take the low road. I'll be in Scotland for ye, but me and my true love will never meet again on the bonny, bonny banks of Loch Lomond. 'Twas there that we parted in yon shady glen, on the steep, steep side of Ben Lomond, where in purple hue the Highland hills we view, and the moon coming out in the gloaming. Oh, you take the high road and the wildflowers spring, and in sunshine the waters are sleeping, but the broken-hearted kins nae second spring again. Though the wakeful may cease frae their grieving. Oh, you'll tak the high road, and I'll tak the low road. I'll meet Scotland before ye, but me and my true love will never meet again. On the bonny banks of the Irish tenor banjo.
Hey, Jim.
Terence McKinnon on those beautiful Irish pipes.
Oh, indeed. Siobhan O'Donnell.
Siobhan Donovan, known to our friends as Sayo Bahan, on that beautiful Celtic harp she plays so well. Yeah. Frank Edgley Jr., not to be confused with his dad, on this beautiful fiddle here. Beautiful. And me, your neighborhood Lebanese Scotsman, Matthew Romaine. Not the belly's moving cloud, but catch fire.
urge you to break your spirit, but nay, I take my meat. It burns a road from throat to belly, and then it's gone. Pour, repeat. Whiskey, my love, my liquid treasure, you expensive, remarkable thing. Here's to the hands that made thee, and all the joy they bring. But why heed thee when Burns says it best, for he always did, always will. So raise your glass way up on high, and the bard will close the bill. O thou my muse, good old Scotch drink, whether through whips and worms thou jink, or richly brown remore the brink, in glorious fame inspire me, till I lisp and wink. We sing thy name, Slanjava. I decided I needed to be a serious writer, but I drank white wine and Cosmos, and that is not serious drinking for a serious writer. So I looked over on my bookcase and I saw Old Man in the Sea, and I thought, Ernest Hemingway, he drank something. He's a serious writer and he drank serious things. I bet he drank Scotch whiskey. I did no research, I just decided. So I taught myself to enjoy Scotch whiskey. I now love it, it's an art form. Found out years later, Ernest Hemingway drank mojitos. So I'm glad that I got the benefit of it, but no.
that I need proving, I've lost the friends that I need to lose. Another's on the way. But I've kissed the girls and I've left them alone. Stolen dreams, yes, there's no denying. Troubled hearts, sometimes with conscience one, somewhere with the wind. But let me tell you that I love you, and I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you call me, and I go home. If I should become a stranger, you know it would make me more than sad. Caledonia, you're everything I ever had. Sitting here before the fire, the empty room and the forest choir, things that couldn't get any higher. They wither now, they're gone. I'm steady thinking my way is clear. I know what I will do tomorrow. My hands are shaking, the seas fall, I will disappear. Let me tell you that I need you, and I think about you all the time. Caledonia, on me, and I go home. If I should become a stranger, you know it would make me more than sad. Caledonia, you're everything I ever had. But let me tell you that I love you, and I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you call me, and I go home. If I should become a stranger, you know it would make me more than sad. Caledonia, you're everything I've ever had. I will go, when the fighting is over, to the land of McLeod that I left. To be a soldier I will go, Well, I've a buckle on my belt, a sword in my scabbard, I've a red coat on my back, and a shilling in my pocket. I will go, I will go. I will go, when the fighting is over, to the land of McLeod that I left. To be a soldier I will go, When they put us all on board, the verses were singing, but the tears came to their eyes when they heard the bells are ringing. I will go, I will go. I will go, when the fighting is over, to the land of McLeod that I left. To be a soldier I will go, When we landed on the shore, we saw the foreign heather. We knew that some would fall and would stay there forever. I will go, I will go. I will go, when the fighting is over, to the land of McLeod that I left. To be a soldier I will go, I will go. I will go, when the fighting is over, to the land of McLeod that I left. To be a soldier I will go, I will go. The lords of convention, 'twas clear that I spoke. Till the king's crumpled down, there'll be crowns to be broke. For each cavalier who does honor and me, let him follow the bullets and play on me. Fill up my captain and fill up my can, stand my horses and call my land. Who the west born, let us go free. For it's not good, the bullets and play on me. 1,000 times 3 is 24. That's what money don't be. Get off my hand, saddle my horses, call up my land. Look at this board, let us go free. It's not weird, but it's money don't need. To the hills, to the lee and the rocks, where you'll be the surfer and mix with the fox. From the ball swigs in the mist of your rain, you've not seen the last of my balls and you. Get out my hand, saddle my horses, call up my land. We're the best boy, let us be free. Let's not wear the last. Silver in my pocket, I'm gonna follow the rolling trail. Whiskey, whiskey, Nancy, whiskey, 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 Nancy, oh. I came in by Glasgow City, Nancy whiskey I chanced to smell. I went in, sat down beside her. 7 years now I love her well. Whiskey, whiskey, Nancy, whiskey, 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 Nancy, oh. The more I kissed her, the more I loved her. The more I kissed her, the more she smiled. For I forgot my father's teaching. Nancy whiskey had me beguiled. Whiskey, whiskey, Nancy, whiskey, 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 Nancy, oh. Whiskey, whiskey, Nancy, oh. I rose early in the morning to quench my thirst, it was my need. Tried to rise, but I was not able. Nancy whiskey had me by the heel. Whiskey, whiskey, Nancy, whiskey, 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 Nancy, oh. Come all you weavers, you calls and weavers. Come all you weavers, wherever you be. Beware of whiskey, Nancy, whiskey. She'll ruin you like she ruined me. Whiskey, whiskey, Nancy, whiskey, 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 Nancy.
We came in as good friends, or strangers who became friends, or old friends forgotten and now remembered. I ran into some people I haven't seen in years. And there is nothing more to do here tonight except be grateful for the experience, and once I'm finished talking, to leave expeditiously before you get the eye from Sue and Lorraine because they love you, but they're tired. But before you go, we gathered here tonight for a reason. Come on, Phil. Come on. We want to see your face, and we want to cheer you one more time before tomorrow we're cheering you. You're just standing and being yourself. We came for Phil. And now Phil doesn't like all this fuss about himself, do you?
No, I don't.
No, you won't. And that is, as it happens, the whole point. Remember this tomorrow at Willistead Manor as we continue celebrating Phil in more respectable ways. week, when you've finally gotten all the whiskey out of your system, there's still some sitting on the table if you want to snag one before you go out. People who don't like a fuss are often the ones most worth the fuss. And that's Phil. So, go home to the people who put up with you every day and tell them you had a good night. Tell them the whiskey was worthy, and the music was live, and the conversation was mostly coherent. And tell them about that moment, and you'll know the one. It's that one moment from tonight that made the memory that you're going to carry forward from here. So off you go, carefully please. The road home is dark, but you know the way. And drink water before bed. I know I'm not your mother, but that's really good advice. Drink a lot of water. Safe haven, everyone. Thank you. Good night.